investigation was begun by a scientist who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
A kill list was intercepted. It says everyone in this room will be dead. You're number 2 on the list. Well, who's number 1?
An unknown, a civilian.
Lookoutfa Charlie.
I want him dead.
This is the experiment that will be known as MK Sleep 1. At the end of this study, 12 people from across the United States will have the audio of their sleep recorded and forensically analyzed for anomalies. There are 2 forms of audio that can be found in these recordings: surface audio and deep audio. Surface audio can be heard on initial playback. Deep audio is hidden within the layers of sound and ambient noise in the recording. With the evidence of this study compiled, it will put a stop to the debate of whether sleep manipulation, dream manipulation, and unconscious interrogation technology is being used on the American public. Once solid, undeniable evidence is presented, it is not longer a theory. It is fact that something is happening that shouldn't be. It is time for people to stop debating on whether this is happening or not and focus on ending it. MK Sleep is the evidence needed to open eyes and shift the attitudes of the masses on remote influence technology.
This is going to be part 1 to MK Sleep. And I just want to say that this channel is not for lazy people. You're not going to come here and understand this in 3 videos and 2 questions. This channel is for people who have an attention span and can take the evidence, use their cognitive reasoning skills and simple common sense and put this all together to understand what is happening. And that entails watching a lot of videos on this channel to understand, by example, like how these frequencies work. You have to hear it repeatedly. It's hands-on. If you're lazy and you want a decade of hands-on research crammed into a 10-minute video, this channel is not for you. There are plenty of phony government-funded science channels out there for people like that. And this channel is not remarkable. It's not even outlandish in 2022. If you look at the evidence I am laying down constantly and look at how the behavior of the world has changed, it's plainly obvious. This is some of the most unique and best evidence I've ever gathered, and sadly, I used my own home as the test field. I didn't want to do that. Generally, I use other people's recordings, but, once in a while I have to do it. I'm going to do 11 more to make this a dozen in total, so that the evidence is irrefutable. Because this is going on everywhere. I am not special. My house is not special. You have to understand that. This isn't happening to me. I'm not saying that. That's not what this video is about. This is happening everywhere. This technology is everywhere. And this technology is being used on people of all backgrounds. Also, if you are in law enforcement, if you are a veteran, if you are a firefighter, if you are in any of those types of positions, if you are a teacher, a doctor, please consider recording your sleep for one night, not video, just audio, and sending me this audio to analyze. And with all that said, let's get into MK Sleep 1. Over a decade ago, a woman that I had spent a lot of time with began to talk in her sleep. She had no history of talking in her sleep at all. I had never heard this before. I had never witnessed it, and I had been around her for years. This sleep talking would progress. It would get heavier, and more intense over a 1 or 2 week period, and then it would stop, and then it wouldn't happen for a week or 2, and then it would pick back up. It was almost a schedule to it. In the beginning, I thought it was funny, so I set up a recorder, and I recorded this to play it back and have a laugh. But when I went to play it back, I heard voices in the recording. It seemed to respond to what she was saying in her sleep, and I thought it was a little bit strange, but I figured I wasn't really thinking, and maybe I left the TV on in the other room. Maybe I left the radio on, something. So the next night, I made sure that everything was off. And the sleep talking began on schedule, and I recorded it. And after going over it, the same voices were there, saying the same types of things and responding in between all this sleep talking. So then I began to record it almost nightly when it would happen. As I said, it was like a schedule. This got weirder and weirder, and I realized that something was happening. And then that led me down some serious rabbit holes. The more investigation I did into this, the more I realized how the sound was working, how it was operating, and what it was doing exactly. The more I investigated this, the stranger things got around here. And I won't even get into that. And honestly, I would rather be doing other things. I would rather attribute all this to ghosts and ghouls and goblins and move on. But it's not the case, and I can't let this go. This is not paranormal. It has nothing to do with the paranormal. And people have been fooled into believing that when they hear these, they are paranormal. So people will come to this channel and they'll say, oh, that sounds like EVPs. No, EVPs are this technology, and they are being confused for ghosts and ghouls and goblins. And I've proven that in the past. So on the night of September 12th, 2022, I set up recorders and I laid down and went to sleep to test this technology and see what's going on. And again, I am not special. My house is not special. This isn't about me. This is about documenting the technology at work. And when I went to go over the results, I found some amazing things happened. So let's check that out. The first thing I want to point out here is this and this. A normal night of sleep should look like this. And then if you roll over, like here, is just me getting into bed. That's the noise from me getting into bed. And then it should look like that. And if you roll over and make some noise, you'll get a spike. So the oddity about this night in this experiment is just over 26 minutes in, all this noise picks up here. And it just goes crazy. And it sounds like somebody's tapping, moving around, walking. And by this point I'm sleeping, so I have no idea what's going on. And the whole room seems to be filled with noise. Now, let me explain something to you. When I play you these recordings, it may sound echoey or like I'm sleeping in a loft or somewhere that's all tile. That is not the case. My neighborhood is dead quiet at night. My house is dead quiet. It is not echoey. You can hear a pin drop in my house at night. It's that quiet. There's something to this, and when I play you the recordings, they sound as though they have their own reverb to them, their own echo. It's a very strange sound, and I just want to point that out before we move forward. I'm going to play you part of that noisy area of that recording where I'm sleeping in a very, very quiet room, and I want you to hear what is going on, and really listen to this. Use headphones or good speakers. Whatever you can use. Do not use your phone or some crappy tweeter to listen to this. Use decent speakers and you'll actually hear what's going on. Like I said, this is not a channel for lazy people. This is an audio forensics channel primarily. So let's check this out. I'm going to play you maybe a minute of it before we move forward, because you have to get used to how it sounds and understand it. Here we go. Now that's surface audio. You can hear it on immediate playback. I just boosted it up a little bit. So what we have going on could be blamed on EVPs, ghosts, or goblins. Problem is, they're not. They're pulsed communications, and you can actually hear the system feeding back. And I'm going to play you a clip where I compiled a few of these feedback points so you can understand this. Let's check it out. This is the system feeding back in my room. And like I said, I am not special. This is happening everywhere. Listen to that. Now listen to this. It's just like a microphone in a PA system. It sounds just like it. It is literally starting to feed back, to hit the point where it is feeding back. Do you hear that? That is not a ghost. It's not a goblin. These are pulse communications, and they are creating feedback. And this happens over and over. This is technology, and it goes on and on for loudly for 45 minutes. It continues through the entire recording, but it is loud for 45 minutes. This noise is being created, and it's very, very strange stuff. Let me show you the sine wave that I pulled out of the deep audio that is controlling this. This is the sine wave, and it's an example of it, and following this sine wave. And what you're going to hear is something that sounds like Pole Position, the old video game. Check it out. Point here. What is that doing in a house at 4 in the morning? It has no business there. And there is no way that anybody can come in here and make excuses as to why that would be in somebody's house. Check out this transition point here. So as it picks up in intensity, it also picks up in frequency. Again, that has no business in somebody's bedroom at 4 in the morning. There was nothing on in this home. Not a TV, not a radio, not anything. Not even a computer. I've shown this article before. Scientists entered people's dreams and got them talking. So they admit that they are doing this. They are going in and interrogating and asking people questions in their sleep, getting them to speak. You have to realize how invasive this is, because what happens in a human being's sleep, and the person will never remember it. Dreaming experiments involved real-time conversations between sleepers and scientists. So they admit that they are doing this. So here it is. This is the evidence from this experiment. What you're going to hear is the noise that was being kicked up in the room, and then you're going to hear voices begin to talk here very clearly. Here we go. And it sounds like it says something like shady here. And then it sounds like it says something like we will stab or something. And then it keeps going. You can hear the reverb on it. It's not immediate. If you understand acoustics, recorder was right next to my head. So this is like in the back of the room talking. There's no denying it. It's there. It's not a ghost. It's not a goblin. Now, this is where it gets very, very strange. A woman's voice says, Californians are stupid. Californians are stupid. I have no idea why this is there. I have no idea why they would put it there. But here's another clip where a conversation goes on, and then a woman says California again. Check this out. California. So, imagine if this was played to an entire population or an entire area. You could literally advertise things or ideas to people in their sleep, like the idea that Californians are stupid. This is very, very dangerous technology because you are picking this up in your sleep and it can manipulate your dreams. I have seen it. Okay, I'm going to play you two versions of this. This is a female's voice and she says, "You better say something." Here's a different version of it. "You better say something." You better say something. And this gets more and more intense. And if you pay attention, these are not real voices. These are voices just like you would find on a voice generator. They are artificial female and artificial male voices. They're identical to a voice generator. And I have heard these same voices in 1,000 different recordings. The exact same voices. Here is a female's voice, and she says, "We're watching you." Check it out. "We're watching you." And here is a male's voice saying the same thing. "We're watching you." So it's almost like an interrogation technique. Now, here is a creepy voice, artificial of course, and it asks the question, "Who's that little girl?" Who's that little girl? So it is actually attempting to interrogate somebody. It is literally asking questions. Who's that little girl? Can anybody deny that? Absolutely not. That has no business in a bedroom at 4 in the morning. This is an interesting one. A voice comes in here. It's male, artificial male, and it says, "Fuck your family." Fuck your family. Now I'm going to play you two different versions of this. There's a voice here that says, "They'll fuck with me in my dreams." Now I'm going to play you a different version. "They'll fuck with me in my dreams." Here's "in my dreams." "They'll fuck with me in my dreams." Very dangerous stuff. Now here a female asks, "Who the fuck is," and a name. Who the fuck is somebody somebody? Check it out. There's a common theme here. Questions. Statements that are slightly intimidating or weird, and then questions. Who the fuck is so-and-so? And again, this is in a quiet bedroom at 4 in the morning. It does not belong there. In this one, a male voice says, "You won't forget us." There's "forget us." You won't forget us. In this one, a voice comes in, and it's artificial male, and it says, "You can't run from me." You can't run from me. Of course not. Person sleeping. This one is a very, very interesting question, and I'm going to play you two different versions of it. There's a voice that says, how can they prove that it's happening? And it seems to be asking somebody, how can they prove that it's happening? How can they prove that it's happening? Now this one is very alarming. A voice comes in and it says, "Wake up and kill the sheriff." That's what it sounds like it says. It certainly says, "Wake up." It sounds like "kill the sheriff." Wake up and kill the sheriff. I'm going to play it right now. Wake up and kill the sheriff. I'm going to play you a different version of that. Let's boost it a little bit. Wake up and kill the sheriff. Kind of strange that there are voices in a bedroom at 4 in the morning that are saying, wake up and do something. This has no business being there at all. Okay, this one almost sounds like it's playing on a record. It has that sound to it, and this is all surface audio. And a female asks, who's he working with? I'm going to play it a few times. Who's he working with? Who's he working with? These are all strange questions, or strange statements, or strange commands. Who's he working with? Who's he working with? And you have to understand that these are pulse communications, so sometimes it sounds as though the inflection is weird, like working. Who's he working with? Interesting. This one is a male voice, and it says, have to remember something. Have to remember something. Does not belong. Here's a voice that almost sounds unisex, like a cross between a male and a female, and it says, I hope you something something. Here we go. I hope you something. And then here, it's a very strange male voice here, and it says, every person gets nervous. It's very weird. Every person gets nervous. It seems to be priming people, or attempting to prime people. Remember, scientists have broken into people's dreams, and they are communicating with them. And here a strange surface voice says, I talk to your family. And it's very pulsed. This is one of the very pulsed voices. I talk to your family. That's your family. Family. I talk to your family. This is messed up stuff, and it's everywhere. Like I said, my house is not special. I am not special. Here's a voice asking a question. Check it out. And this was heavy questioning and statements. This one sounds like it says, he's not going to believe you. It's very weird, and it has a half male, half female sound to it. Let's play it once. Like, he's not going to believe you. Now let me show you a little bit of this noise. If somebody woke up and listened to this recording, or had a noise activation on a recorder and they woke up, it would sound as though somebody was walking around their bed when no one was walking around their bed. Here, I'm going to play this for you. It sounds like footsteps. And there was nobody in my room. Here are knocks. No one was in there. Here's one of my favorites. It's a voice, male, artificial male, and it says, you're a Nazi. Because anybody who is involved with anything like this these days is a Nazi. Now I want to show you this spot where the system really seemed to act up in my room. Strange modulations, tweaks, and feedback. This has no business in anybody's bedroom at 4 in the morning. Now I'm going to warn anybody with headphones that this one is going to get loud. This is a screw up in the system as well. And this one is my favorite by far. Here we go. Feedback. And then what did it say? I would love to hear somebody attempt to deny this. So what we have here is a communication system. And you have to remember that everybody's smart meter gives their home an IP address. An IP address that wasn't on old electric meters. So you can literally be interrogated by technology in your sleep and have no recollection of it. People need to understand that and understand all the other symptoms that go with this. I've seen it happen to people. And this was MK Sleep Part 1. We're going to be doing 11 more of these to create a body of evidence that is undeniable. And that's it for now. Look out for Charlie.
We must fight to regain our freedom, or everything is lost. Everything!
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Lookoutfa Charlie.